Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the man cave, and of course I need another plane like I need a hole in the head, but hey, why not? DYNAM has, obviously this is the DYNAM, has been kind of making a comeback. They went away for a while. BitGo Hobby was my main supplier for DYNAM, and they pretty much gone the wayside. I haven't heard anything from BitGo Hobby or said anything about them in probably 2.5 years, and or 2 years for sure. But now DYNAM has their own U.S. based warehouse, and two places that I know you can get DYNAM reliably is FPV Works and Builds up in New Jersey, or actually up in New York, and also you can get them from the DYNAM warehouse. I believe it's in California now. So so you don't have to worry about that, $100 or more shipping. And DYNAM has also been bringing back their same planes, but in version 2 and version 3, and I think even there's a version 4 now. And this particular one, I believe, is the version 3 of the FOCKE WULF 190, and it has flaps now. They've also improved their retracts, as evident in the Hellcat that y'all been watching my videos on. That's my first new generation of the DYNAM planes. Now they haven't changed much else. However, the retracts have definitely increased. The old joke was if you had a DYNAM with working retracts, you also spotted Bigfoot riding a unicorn. So, and like I say, DYNAM, I talk trash about them, but you know what? I keep buying them and I keep going back to them, and basically because they're a good plane. You just have to. There's a little more to them. You don't just get 5 bolts, put them together, and go fly. No, you gotta do some work. You gotta put some time in, which to me is part of their charm, and also is a good thing because it helps you. You are intimately going over every single piece of that plane. You're going through every part. You're having to put a lot of the stuff together, like putting the control horns on the wings and the control surfaces, things like that. You have to do. You're almost always going to have to calibrate the ESC. You're going to probably have to balance the prop if you've got a prop plane. You're going to have to glue a lot of stuff in. Lots of times you got to put the decals on. There's just little things that you have to do with a DYNAM that you, on an E-Flight or an Aeros plane or an FMS plane, that you don't have to worry about. Usually just everything fits right together. And with DYNAM, sometimes you got to do a little bit of modification, get things to fit right. But that's all part of modeling, and it's part of helping you build a skill set. Basically, it forces you to. Now, nice big honking prop. Obviously, this is the unboxing of it, and it's unlike most of the other planes you get. They do not come in coffin. They're in a foam coffin. Everything's cardboard, and everything's in little individual baggies, and everything's kind of held in place with tape. Now this is a 13x7 prop, and look at the pitch on that prop. Look at how. So it's because you're probably going to have a lot of torque. Get out of Dodge. Probably not going to be a very fast plane, but definitely have the torque to get you up out of trouble. And almost everything is, like I said, in individual boxes, cardboard. They kill a lot of trees. But there again, the other planes make a lot of styrofoam. So most everything on a DYNAM plane in a box you can burn, and is degradable. Not unlike foam. All right, there's your pilot with a few of their normal DYNAM decals, and like a perfect example, the canopy. You're going to have to glue the canopy onto the fuselage. All your screws and bits. Give them some glue, and they give you some little screwdrivers, and great little Chinese screwdrivers. There, prop adapter. You're going to have to put the prop adapter onto the plane, onto the front of the motor. Alright. Like I said, everything's held together with tape. And inside little cardboard boxes. Yeah, there you go. Another case example. Decal sheet. See? And they're typical stick-on decals. Now, unfortunately, because of the length of the video and putting these DYNAM planes together, it takes a long time. They're not a throw together in the time it takes to charge a battery. No, this is going. If I was to film this video of me putting it together, talking at least a 2-hour video if I do it in real time. So what I'm going to do, we're going to go over the parts. I'm going to put the plane together, and then we'll come back after, like I've been trying to start doing, is I'm going to go fly the plane, shoot the maiden video, and then I'll come back and do the rates, radio, and gyros and CG setup. That way the information that I give you about the rates, radio, and CG has already been proven. I've already gone out, I've flown the plane, and then the maiden will be aired afterwards. But when I give you the rates, radio, and CG, it's with proven stuff, not just what my guesswork or what the manual says. One thing I do want to show you, like I say, everything's in individual baggies. This is the version, this is to show you the version is, with the new ones, has flaps. Now, DYNAM planes are very bad about their fill marks for their molds. Okay, you're going to see every bit of that. And the foam feels dry. It feels very dry, okay, because it is dry. And that is good in one thing, and that when if you put a clear coat on this, it really soaks it up, it shines, and it makes the foam easier to care for. However, because it's dry, it's going to make it seem awfully brittle, which leads me to my next point with the DYNAM. Oh, they've already got, wow, then there's a new one. They've already got the control surfaces hooked up on the plastic. This is all plastic flap, and I don't want to try to push that. Ball link, that's new. They didn't have ball links before. But the point I was trying to make is the hinges do not have laminate reinforcement. They're just normal pinch foam hinges. So what am I going to do? I'm going to do my hold the foam. And again, about the hold the foam, keep it a very thin layer. If you do not do a thin layer, then you're going to regret that, and you'll do just the opposite, and you'll break the hinge. So make sure it's a thin layer. Mainly because if you put too much of that hold the foam on there, which I stand behind the idea, if you put too much, it builds up and it actually will bind the hinge and cause your hinge to break. I love the fact they've already connected the control surfaces. That's something you had to do before with all DYNAMs. You had to, but I love the finish. On the underside, you can see the individual cells, but you certainly can't feel them. Does have some lights, some nav lights. I hope you can see right there on the very end. See a little light there? Mindful of your debris. And the spar just laying in there. Now here's something I don't like that they do, but I also understand to keep costs down. On a lot of their planes, you'll get you get a long control or push rod to control a surface, which means you get a lot of slop in it. And then I would like to see 2 Aileron elevator servos here to control this, but instead you control with 1 servo lead or 1 servo, and you have this arm in here. Now I highly recommend, this is glued in, it looks pretty good, but look what happens, that bar is in there, and when you go down here it kind of binds in on that hinge. So just be mindful. They're definitely I mean, this is a good quality pinch hinge, I'll give you that. They've got it nice. They've allowed for some of the room of that, for that tiller arm. But even bending this, I'm already starting to see the white come through that paint. So definitely a can. This is definitely the model you need to work your hinge. Work your hinge. Okay? Definitely the elevator. But still, very nice. Very nice. For DYNAM, I can tell, I shouldn't even say that for DYNAM. See, the prop was supposed to be in this. But this is just a, hey, whoa, hey, it was. Never mind. I thought I got an extra one, but instead, no, I got a, that's where the vertical stabilizer. Now, on my last one like this, I didn't know anything about doing the fold to foam treatment, and this is what started with me. With my rudder on my last Focke-Wulf 190 is just flying along, and all of a sudden the rudder just detached. I mean, it just detached, and I have no idea. And I'm like, what the heck? And I learned through the internet and research about the hold the foam. Again, quality pinch hinge, but definitely needs some reinforcement. I would definitely put that. This is definitely a great candidate. But this is a pretty good working hinge. You know, I don't have to do much with that, so that's good. But just a thin layer of that hold the foam in there, and that will protect that foam hinge. DYNAM instructions are the same. Now, they have not improved that. They're still not that great. You get one page, one big page, and that's it. That's the instructions. But that's okay. And they don't give you, and then this page is in Chinese, and this is the page for us, unless you want to read Chinese. But it gives you the important stuff. It gives you the suggested throw settings, which is in millimeters, which I'll use my own. I'll probably end up with 100% throws with 30% expo, because I seem to end up using that on everything anyways. The center of gravity for this is 70 to 75 millimeters back from the leading edge, which is going to put it not that far in, up at the wing root. So, yeah, this is just like they give you little pictures and then little ideas of what they're doing. So basically, you kind of have on your own with instructions. And of course, the disclaimer about the 50 amp ESC that comes with it. Now, this plane does not run on 3S. You can try to run it on 3S, and I seriously doubt you'll get it off the ground. I have tried to run my last one on 3S. No. It did not run. It could not even get off the ground. However, on 4S, it does just fine, but do not expect a speed demon. Again, the cowl. Okay? The cowl is held on with magnets, and you'll have to, you may have to glue it some. But very nice. There's magnets in there that are in plastic this time, so it's glued into plain foam, which is nice. And of course, the fuselage. My next DYNAM plane, if I can afford to get another plane period anytime soon, will probably be the version 2 of their GB, which is a sports aerobatic plane. Okay, and see, this is what I was talking about. Right here, you have this servo. This servo is 2 pieces. The servo down here, but this is what it controls. It controls your tail wheel and your rudder. Okay. Wow, they put the elevator servos down here. That's a new one for DYNAM, which I sure hope they gave me a control rod long enough for that, because I certainly didn't see one. Yep, there's one right there, and it's ball length. Another improvement on DYNAM's part. This is why this is the version 3 or whatever. And this time, last one had just a magnetic tongue and groove hatch. This one actually has a nice working, very strong pin. Tongue and groove in there. That is not coming out. That's in there, it's tight. They've upped their game some. I got to give them that. They have upped their game. Very nice. Uh-oh, don't let that happen. Very nice battery bay. Now, one thing they do is they have all these little foam walls in here. If you have, I'm going to suggest a 4S, like a large 4S, like a 33 up to a 5000 in here. And you can move it back and forth. But if your batteries don't quite fit in there, you can cut these little these little sections here out. That's what that's there for. And that way you cut them to fit and your battery will fit in there nice and tight and won't roll around. Kind of a rinky-dink little strap there, but that's okay. I can still use it. Dynam does use some pretty good wiring. Has the, let me make sure of this, 2 to 4S power, 50 amp ESC. Has an XT60 connector, and yeah, plenty of room. I'll probably put my receiver will probably be somewhere in this area. Battery will be up here. You're going to want you want warbirds to fly slightly on the nose heavy side anyways. There, that fits in there just like that. Has 2 magnetic connectors in there, and then tongue and groove on top. You can't get that wrong. And then if you're still unsure about it, how the paint matches. So that's nice. And that's in there pretty good. More than likely, I'll put a thin layer of glue just to hold it in place, because once you get the motor on there, highly unlikely you're going to be having to take that off. All right. Well, once you get the prop on there. All right. Like I said, everything comes in its individual. The only foam is on the plane itself. Something fell off of there. The typical of Dynam, the rudder is going to just fit in there, and then you're going to screw into place from below. The elevator is going to, what you're going to do, what you're going to want to do is you're going to put these two things together first, like 2 pieces of a puzzle. Okay, that fits in there nice straight. My last one did not fit in there straight, it was angled. Still flew fine. And then that just tongue grooves in there, like so. Okay, that all screws in there. The wings are held together by pressure and 1 wing spar. Now, I suggest gluing these wings together just for rigidity. Okay. Just a foam channel. There's not a receiving port or a receiving channel to put that in, just a foam channel. Make sure that you pull your wires up. That fits together. There's pieces of the puzzle there. They just fit together. Okay. Yeah, see how that doesn't quite fit together up front? So you gotta kind of squeeze it. Yeah, this is why I put a thin layer of glue in there to hold them 2 pieces together, or you could even use epoxy if you wanted to. And then you're going to take this, should be a hard plastic button. Yeah, right there. See that round structure in there? I don't know if you can see it or not. There's a big hard plastic black button that you're going to glue into place here. And then, of course, the whole thing then tongue and grooves. And they're like that. And then you're going to put a screw here, here, and through that button that you're going to glue in, and that's going to hold your wing together. This is why if you had this glued together, a nice layer of glue there, and holding that button in, that would make that wing just a little more rigid. You see the fill marks? That's just part of Dynam. But there again, Dynam planes, they fly great. They go together pretty good. And you're going to, yeah, that's okay. Probably gonna have a little bit of a gap, but it's in there. They fly together, they go pretty good. They fly really well, and they're very light, so they're very economical in the batteries. You don't have much weight with a Dynam plane, so for that reason, plane like this, you put a 4500 or a 4000 4S in there, you can fly her for 7 or 8 minutes, easy. Throttle management, maybe even stretch it out even further. So you put your pilot in there, put your cap on there, put the decals on there. Nice spinner with the already painted with the corkscrew design. Big nylon screw there to hold that wing in. So, all right, well, folks, there you go. That is the unboxing of the DYNAM FOCKE WULF 190. I am going to go ahead and put the plane together, and then I'll come back and we'll do the maiden flight, and then after the maiden flight I'll come back and do a rates radio and CG setup video, which I will put out before the maiden. And like I said, that way the information that you're getting is proven in flight, not just me on the bench saying this is what I'm going to do, but this is actually what I did. And then I'll show you the maiden flight will come directly within just a few hours afterwards. All right, well, there you go, folks. Let's get her together, and we'll come back with those videos. God bless y'all. Don't forget to faith, family, and friends. And DYNAM, thank you for taking $229 of my money. And hopefully it flies as good as it looks and like my last one did. All right, y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. Don't forget, faith, family, and friends. And DYNAM Warbirds. Bye-bye.